So we know that the Lord meant 3 days and 3 nights, just as he said. Now, and all this plays out with the Passover week. And as I mentioned earlier, we can do a little review about how the Passion Passover week played. Okay, concerning the crucifixion. The Lord died at 3 in the afternoon on the Passover, which was the first preparation day of the week, and that was a Wednesday. And they had to hurry and bury him before the actual high Sabbath began at sundown Wednesday. So, and we know he died before sundown, and he was in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights, his spirit, his soul, his being, while his body was laying in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights. His spirit, his soul, his being was in the heart of the earth, in hell, in paradise. Okay, which began when he gave up the ghost, when he died on the cross at 3 in the afternoon. So, at least from sundown Wednesday until sundown Thursday, or right before sundown on each of those times, would be day 1 of him being in the heart of the earth. And then from before Thursday sundown until before Friday sundown would be his second day in the heart of the earth. And from before sundown Friday until before sundown Saturday would be his third day in the heart of the earth. And so approximately sometime before the end of the 7th-day Sabbath, he arose from the tomb, and he was up and about from right before the end of the Sabbath, the 7th-day Sabbath, until that next Sunday morning when he appeared before Mary Magdalene and the rest of the disciples. He was up and about doing whatever, and I do believe that's when he took up the Old Testament saints from paradise, which was in the heart of the earth and the center of the earth, and took them up to the third heaven. And there are 3 heavens. You have the first heaven is the sky that you see above you. The second heaven is outer space, and the third heaven is way past outer space, where the throne of God is and where the mansions of the saints are that are mentioned in John chapter 14, 1 through 3. So that's what he did. And we know that the Lord went to the heart of the earth when he died. We have some scripture verses in reference to that. We have in Acts 2:27, and this verse is a reiteration of the Davidic psalm that prophesies about the Lord himself not being left in hell to see corruption. And it says in Acts 2:27, "Thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption." And that was a quote in Acts 2:27, quoted from Psalm 16:10. And it also says in Ephesians 4:9, "Now he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first to the lower parts of the earth?" The lower parts of the earth would be hell, which would be below us. He descended to the lower parts of hell, and he also ascended up to heaven. Now you can say he descended from heaven as the Son of God to come as a man, but we're talking about the death of the Lord here. And then it says in 1 Peter 3:19, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. So he went down to hell and in paradise and in hell, and he preached to the spirits, and then he brought them all up. And in Matthew, in fact, in the book of Matthew, when he died on the cross, it says there was a great earthquake, and there were many people during the time of his resurrection that came up from the earth and went into the city. They came alive, from among the dead and went alive into the cities. So there was a lot of spiritual, miraculous things going on, people coming back to life, and all this kind of stuff. Now, we have it played out that there was actually 3 days and 3 nights the Lord was in the heart of the earth, just as Jonah was in the belly of the well for 3 days and 3 nights. And we know now by this understanding that there were 2 preparation days during the Passover week, and that there were 2 Sabbaths during the Passover week. One was a high Sabbath. So it played out, you had the Passover day when the Lord was crucified, and it was called a preparation day that prepared you for the high Sabbath the next day. And by the way, that was also, the Passover was also the first day of the week of unleavened bread. So I think nowadays it falls differently. The Passover is separated from the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but during this particular Passover week, Passover was also the first day of unleavened bread, and it was also the first preparation day. So you had a lot